Hey guys, welcome in. This is with college. There we go. I'm back. I don't
What's
know.
going
I
on?
tried to play. I tried to play a video and it wouldn't play for a second, and then it come on after I started. So that's what it was. Anyways, like I was saying, we're gonna do our game pick'ems. I tried to play one of those countdown videos, and it was supposed to come on before I showed up, and it didn't come on, and then it come on after I started. So that's what happened. Anyway, we're going to go through the college football championship games. This is the championship week for college football. This is the last regular season week of the year. We're down to a bunch of college football championship games, conference championship games. And what I find interesting with the championship games this time is every single championship game has a 3-loss or worse team in it. Every single one of them. SEC's got LSU with 3 losses. The Big Ten has Purdue with 4 losses. The Pac-12 has Utah or Oregon with 3 losses. The Big 12 has Kansas State with 3 losses.
It's not Oregon, by the way.
It's not Oregon, by the way.
Is it not
Utah.
Oregon? Is it
It's
Utah?
Utah and USC.
Well, they have 3 losses. I thought y'all said last week Oregon's the one that made it.
No, they had to have Washington State win last week.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was thinking that they said it was that. But anyways, Utah still has 3 losses. So, you go through and you look at it, and I think it's pretty interesting that every single one of them have 3 losses, a 3-loss team in the championship game, except for the Big Ten, and they have Purdue who has 4 losses. So, yeah, 4 losses. So,
well, and I'll tell you something too. A lot of these 2-loss teams most likely won't get into the college football playoff, except maybe Alabama. That's if somebody gets knocked off in the championship round. Say you get a team like TCU that gets beat by Kansas State. You might get Alabama in there. You might get Ohio State in there. But in the other ones, I don't think you're going to see much difference. Like, say, Georgia loses, Michigan loses. I think even if Michigan and Georgia lose, I think they're still safe. This weekend's everybody's going to be rooting for Kansas State to upset TCU because there's Ohio State and Alabama sitting there right behind them. So
right. But here's my thing. With a 3-loss team that you're playing against and you lose that game.
Mm-hmm.
If one of the teams lose that game,
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that going to be a pretty bad mark at the very end here for most of these
It
teams?
it is. Here's my thing about the whole Big Ten. You got a 8-4 Purdue team playing for a championship. I think
You
they need to
do.
cut a lot of that out. I think they need to cut that out. Which I think they're going to be doing that next year. It's going to
Who, who,
you know,
We
do what now,
got you.
Jason?
no, I was making sure I was connected, ringing, and it kind of
Yeah.
throws you off.
Yeah,
Make sure
you're
I was
good.
back.
You're good. No, but what I was trying to say, is Purdue. They're 8-4. Next year, I think they go to the just one division where it's everybody together.
I know the
I don't think,
Pac-12 is. I'm not sure about the Big Ten yet.
I think the Big Ten starts next year, if I'm not mistaken. I just don't think an 8-4 team, to me, should be playing for a championship. I feel like it should be Ohio State and Michigan playing for the title right now.
Playing
That's just me.
again?
Yeah, I feel like
but here's my thing. I mean, we just seen that last week. Would it be better if they didn't play at the end of the year and then turn around and play again?
Then what
Yeah,
would you have if if you changed up the matchup and then that matchup was the one at the that got repeated? It's going to happen at some point in time. It will happen. So,
But that's just kind of, I don't know. We just seen that last week. I don't care to see Ohio State and Michigan again.
Yeah,
I wouldn't either.
I just don't care to see them.
Which I think, if you put it like last week, say, they lost at Ohio State, and then the following week they play on a neutral field. It's a totally different aspect of things because you might see Ohio State win this game the next time.
Yeah, because it's going to be played indoors. Weather's not a factor.
Exactly.
And same thing. I mean, it's a neutral field, so your crowd is close to be 50-50. So,
and it's like the whole idea with Georgia and LSU. Everybody's saying, well, Georgia hasn't really played well. I said, well, the last couple of weeks, LSU hasn't really played that well. Yeah, they beat Alabama, but the last 2 weeks they haven't looked really good at all. The loss to Texas A&M was kind of surprising. I mean, I get it; it's a rivalry game, but you should get up for games like that. LSU just simply did not come ready to play.
I wasn't surprised. I knew exactly what was about to happen.
You didn't know, Jack. You were just trying to create chaos.
He's just an Auburn fan trying to
Jabba,
get
baby.
relevant.
Jabba. Just Auburn being Auburn right there. Jabba.
He's trying to get relevant with Auburn right now.
I think this sets up this expansion that for college football. The matches we see in Michigan and Green. I would love to see this probably at a neutral site. That would, mess up tradition. You got to look at the SEC West. I'll say the same thing. And you ask Georgia, who Georgia's stiffest competition this year? Well, because they just blasted Tennessee. It's a lot more than 14 teams. 8 teams would be right on target.
Jason, your mic's going in and out.
Can you guys hear me now?
A little bit. It's going in and out. Mason, I actually have you on. I don't know if you can hear us or talk or not. He's having mic issues. He bought a brand new mic, just come in today, and he's trying to figure out how to get it hooked up and everything. So we may be down 1 or 2 tonight.
What about now? Can you guys hear me now?
I don't know. Keep talking.
Can you guys hear me now? You know what?
Yeah, I could hear you then.
So you can hear
Yeah,
me.
I could hear you a little better.
Let me try to fix it on my end.
All right, so we're going to get started with the first game of the week is Friday night, and it's the Pac-12 championship game. And I do have it right here in front of me. Actually, all I had to do is look down, and it says Utah and USC. All I had to do is look down. So,
Eyes down.
but
Eyes
anyway,
down.
yeah, that's all I had to do is do that for just a second. But so we are going to discuss that game. It's the Pac-12 championship game. Hammonds, I'll start with you. You know, Utah's not a bad team, and they actually beat USC by one in the regular season. Does USC avenge that loss? Uh-oh. Hammonds, I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
All right.
I had it on mute. My bad.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. All right.
That was my fault. No, I think USC will win this game, and I tell you why. They're playing for a lot more than what Utah's playing for. They're playing for a chance to get to the college football playoff.
They are.
Because
They have a spot locked up if they win.
I think USC with the win, they're pretty much locked into that spot. They lose, that opens the door for Alabama. As much as we hate it,
I'm not even going to discuss.
I know that you
I'm
don't
not
want
discussing.
to, but it's on the table.
It's ridiculous talk. It's ridiculous. I mean, honestly, it's
on
ridiculous to me.
It's on the table though, and you know it.
Backdoor Bama.
But like I said, USC will win this game, but it will not. I don't think it'll be easy. Utah has a really good defense.
What's the spread, Hammonds?
The spread, last I looked, was, I wish I had all this stuff in front of me. 2.5 USC.
2.5 USC.
I mean, you know, USC's got a great quarterback in Caleb Williams. Utah's got a really good quarterback, Cameron Rising. I don't think this is going to be a blowout by any means, but I think USC gets it done late in the game and takes care of business and gets to the college football playoff.
All right. John Roberts, I'll go with you since you got the best mic stuff going on next. So you're next.
All right. So I've got USC winning. I think they'll win this one. Even though their starting running back is down, they lost the game at Utah by one earlier in the season. I think that they are playing probably some of the best football out of everybody that's out there right now. And Caleb Williams really looks like a Heisman Trophy winner, not or a front runner right now. And so I really think that they go ahead and punch their ticket to the college football playoff, and being the first Pac-12 since Oregon or Washington, one of those, a while ago, a long time ago.
It's been a few years back, at least at the minimum,
Correct.
since a Pac-12 team made, especially the college football
Maybe
playoff.
Washington. It was Washington, wasn't it? It was Washington that got blasted by Bama.
I think so.
Washington. I think they were the last ones in. And Oregon was part of the first year or so, and then I think Utah was about a couple of years later, and they're the ones that got blasted by Bama. So, yep.
Yeah. All right, Jason, are you with us?
I'm trying to be. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I know you're having some mic issues.
Is it? Yeah. So is it still distorted?
I can hear you, I think. Keep going. We're talking about the USC Utah game and picking that game.
I'm definitely picking Trojans. If you guys can hear me.
me?
said the Heisman winner will be Mr. Williams.
Right. So you're going USC?
I might be.
All right. I'm trying to pull up and see if Mason's on with us. Mason, are you on with us?
He may just be a bystander.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
I'm
having mic
trying
trouble
again.
in
He's
there.
down here. He's
Mason
got a
can,
brand new mic. It just come in, and like I said, he's
Mason
trying
can
to
type
figure
in.
it out.
I was going to say Mason could type into the chat here, just like Mr. Harrison did, and tell us
Yeah,
exactly who it
Jason.
is, and then that
Jason
way we
typed
can
in,
announce
"I'm going
who he's
USC."
going with. Yep.
Yeah.
So we could have Mason just type into the chat whether it's our
Yeah, Mason, you
own
type
group
in
chat
for you
or
on the
on this thing
private
right here.
chat.
Yep.
He said
USC.
USC.
There he is.
There
Mason
we go.
says USC.
This is gonna be one way to do it. If we're not gonna be able to get him on with his voice, we'll be
Yeah,
able to at least
we
get his words
just
on.
do it this way. And Jason Harrison
Yep.
says Caleb Williams for Heisman.
I
There
agree.
you go.
Yeah.
John finally agrees. It's okay.
And
Took him a
Mason
while.
says 100% on that. So,
See,
Yeah, I
see,
finally
right.
agree to it.
he's seen the light.
I've seen the light.
all right.
That
So,
episode's awesome.
at the beginning of the year, I picked Utah to win 12, just to be honest with you. I'm probably going to go away from that pick. It does look like USC is probably the little better team. Even though Utah beat them at Utah in the regular season, like 43-42. That game come down to the end, and Utah pulled it out at home. Do I think there's a chance that Utah could win this game? Yes, but I'm going to take USC in the 2.5 points in this game. There is one more game on Friday night. I don't know if y'all want to talk about the Conference USA game or not. Y'all want to mention the Conference USA game?
Yeah, I'll take UTSA. They're 10-2. They're going up against
They're
North
playing against the
Texas.
North. Yeah.
Yeah, UTSA I think is favored by 9 points. UTSA's got a really good football team.
Right.
I think I'm going to go with.
How about now?
Got you, Mason.
Tell me when I'm not too loud.
Well,
Turn it down just a little bit.
a little. Yeah,
How about now?
a little bit. That's good.
That's good right there.
Okay.
Continue,
It
John.
helps if I turn. It helps if I turn the
I was just
microphone
saying,
volume up.
I'll pick.
So
Okay, yeah, that helps.
No, I just said UTSA. I picked them to win that game. They got a really
John
good
Roberts,
football team. So
we'll go with you next.
So I'm going to go with Peter Burns UTSA over the Mean Green of North Texas.
North Texas. Okay.
What's up, Clyde Air?
Jason Harris, who you taking in this one? We're talking Conference USA Championship. We got UTA 10-2 and North Texas 7-5 overall. I was waiting to see if
UTSA.
you
Said,
Yep, UTSA. All right, Mason, we got you on the volume now, so
I'm gonna go UTSA.
all right. UTSA, I'll take UTSA as well. I think that's the smart pick in this game. Both of these games that I just mentioned were Friday night games, conference championship games. So next we're going to move to the Saturday games. The first game of the day on Saturday is Kansas State versus TCU. And what's the spread in this game, Hammonds?
it is 2.5 TCU. It's 2.5 TCU.
Okay.
Here's my thing with this game. As much as I want to pick Kansas State, shout out to the Real Fresh channel he's watching.
Yeah, man. The Real Fresh channel. Thanks,
My
man. I
man.
appreciate it.
To be honest, this game, I want to pick Kansas State like really, really bad. But TCU has been in the fire all season long. Like they've had, so many close calls, so many games they've had to come back and win. And they're built for a game like this. And do I think it's going to be a blowout? No. I think Kansas State has what it takes to win this game. They got a really good running back in Deuce Vaughn. They got a really good defense. But I think TCU does just enough to win this game. Oh, I want to pick Kansas State so bad I can't stand it. But
So nobody's really mentioned TCU's quarterback for the Heisman race, but he's had an
Duggan.
awfully good year.
Duggan,
Yeah, Duggan. He's had an awfully good year.
He's made so many clutch throws. Like I said, you can even ask Mason. TCU has been they've had their foot put to the fire every single week, and they come
have
through
just about.
every single week. And will they get a point in this game where that'll happen again? Yes, but they can't afford to have the miscues that they had in some of those other games because this is a championship game. So they're gonna have to do the things that they normally wouldn't do in the regular season Saturday. And so far they've outdone that. So
I'm going to give a quick little. I'm going to give a quick little shout out to the Real Fresh channel. He says, "Good show, boys." We're going to be featured on his channel, a YouTube channel, starting on Sundays. So our Sunday show is going to be featured on his channel, and I just want to give a quick shout out to him. You can find him on YouTube, and he's on Twitter at the Real Fresh channel. CHA actually is his handle on Twitter. So I want to give just a quick shout out to him, and then we'll get back. Roberts?
Teach me how to Duggan.
Teach me how to Duggan. Teach me how to Duggan.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, TCU, man. They just they've been playing a lot of close games, as John said. They are a team that, they've already beaten K-State once before this year. I think they're going to do it again. I don't think that K-State really has enough to be able to put TCU away. I wish they did, because I really want to see, again, the chaos. I want to force the issue with the committee on who they select. And this game right here would definitely force the issue. But
So you don't give Adrian Martinez any chance at all?
No. Sorry.
All right.
Jason Harrison.
There you go. Jason Harrison's with me on the National Coach of the Year, I see.
Sonny Dykes, yes, sir.
Which Sonny Dykes is the Coach of the Year.
I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for Shane Beamer and some of the others, I would take Sonny Dykes. We got John Gregory on here.
He's not even in the conversation with me, but
we got my friend from California is on here from SoCal.
Cool, man.
John Gregory.
So Jason is picking TCU, pulls it out again of the year in the Big 12, team of destiny, he says, Jason says. So we'll go with that. And Mason, what do you say on this game?
Give me K-State.
You're picking K-State?
He's got to be a rebel.
I don't think. I don't think TCU has to beat them twice. Right?
Yeah,
It is very hard to
they've
beat
already
teams twice.
done it once.
It's it's really hard to beat a team twice.
They barely beat them once, so they didn't pound them. They should have lost that game.
That's what I said. That's what I told, Brad. I want to pick Kansas State so bad I can't stand it because it's going to be a tight game.
And TCU barely won the first time. I think Kansas State had their number this time.
And K-State has a really good defense too.
Michigan's QB did go to Iowa. Yeah, that's a great great commit for Iowa.
Who's the one that was breaking that earlier? Like maybe not the last show, but the one before it.
I believe his name was John Roberts.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't me. It was Mason.
It's Mason.
Yeah. All right, John Hammonds, there's your friend from Southern Cal. I thought I put him up here.
Yeah,
we appreciate you being on with us, man. Tell people, tell your friends, tell people on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. And we're doing these lives, so we appreciate you being on with us, man. I just want to give you a shout out. He also says Michigan QB went to Iowa.
That's what I was responding to.
Yep.
Yeah. Did he announce it already?
Yeah.
That was announced today.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Iowa's got a QB now with their really good defense. Could be interesting.
They got to get an OC first.
From what I've heard, they're expected to announce that after the bowl game.
Yeah, it's after the bowl game, I think.
All right. I'm going TCU. I'm pulling for Sonny Dykes, Coach of the Year, so I'm taking TCU. I've been saying it all week, so I'm taking TCU in this game.
John, I don't think you can speak unless you're actually in the show.
Yeah, I can't get you on like that, guys. I'd have to invite you beforehand. Yeah.
If you guys send him a message before the next podcast, we can get you guys on though.
Yeah, before the show, I can see if I know you want to be on, I can get you on. I got a few more spots. I can do it that way.
He said no worries.
Okay.
Is DJ in the transfer portal?
No, but that's
no.
The word
most people are speculating that he will.
Yeah. He should be because he shouldn't be the starter here anyways.
Yeah, Clyde's spent because there's been some talk and rumors that DJ might be in the transfer portal.
Clemson has the best quarterback as their backup right now in the country. So
would DJ go to UCLA?
He very well could. I mean, what is Robinson? Is he in his last year?
Should be. I mean, he may have a COVID year or something. I was going to say, but he should be
COVID year.
He should be pretty close.
Mm-hmm. So what their guys are talking about here is Clyde Harris says, "I hope we don't get the Clemson quarterback DJ." He's talking about Kentucky. Clyde's a Kentucky fan, so
he's not going to Kentucky, but
Clyde's a Kentucky fan, so we and John know Clyde. So me and Hammonds. So
John not going to Texas. They have Ewers,
and they got Manning. And they got Manning.
Yeah, Manning coming in, and Card just left. So
Hudson Card could be a possibility. I don't know. I mean,
Hudson Card just left, so he's a good quarterback for anybody that gets him.
Yep.
Card. Yeah.
Okay. Continue, John. Sorry, I was getting sidetracked by the comments.
Yeah, that's the reason why we like to have comments. It kind of helps us with the show. So again, I picked TCU.
Jason said, "Does Arch Manning start
next
year?" Arch Manning is struggling in high school right now.
Yeah, I say no. Yeah,
I say no on that.
Well, he's done with high school now.
The next game to talk about, guys, is on Saturday. Is the Troy game, the Sun Belt Championship game. Troy is playing Coastal Carolina. that should be a really good game. Troy's 10 and
Yeah.
2. Coastal Carolina is 9 and 2. They missed because of the teams that was supposed to play Virginia the second to last game of the year, and that game got canceled because of the shooting. So
I'm just
they
going to give a quick answer. Give me John Sumrall and the Troy Trojans.
that's all right. I know exactly what you mean.
Oh, that's victory right there. That's Troy.
Jason said he
That's
took
That's
Troy.
Coastal
Troy.
Carolina.
We're going
All right.
Troy. Troy.
You're going Troy.
I'm going.
Well,
I'm going Coastal.
Jason Harrison says Coastal Carolina as well. He's in the private chat. So I want to say that. And then Mason says Coastal Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Harrison says Team Chaos. That's
Apparently, I've
See,
jumped off
John
the chaos
Roberts'
bus.
call.
See what you started, John?
I've apparently jumped off of it because I'm going chalk right here.
Come on, John. What are you
Uh,
doing? Oh my lord.
It's coming. Don't worry.
All right. So I'm going Troy. I'm going John Summerall as well. Kentucky guy, went to Kentucky, played at Kentucky, coached at Kentucky. He also has been at Troy as an assistant and now the head coach. So I'm going with Troy in that game. And then we're going to get to a couple of the big game of the day, I guess you could say, maybe the SEC game. We're going to go LSU and Georgia. What's the spread in this game, John?
Last I looked, it was 16 and a half. Now it's 17 and a half, Georgia.
17 and a half.
Jason Harrison says Georgia. I would bet on this game.
Yeah, meaning that he would put money on this game. That's how sure he is.
As much as LSU has improved since Tennessee, since the loss to Tennessee, they had some head scratchers. They barely beat Arkansas. They lost to Texas A&M. I think I'm going to take the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, this is a neutral field type game too.
Really?
And
Neutral?
I just think, it'll be closer.
Neutral.
It's in Atlanta.
It's an
I just
hour
think-
away.
It is. I just think it'll be closer than people think. Now, is that to say LSU's going to win? No. But I think it'll be a lot closer than people think. I just think Georgia has too much offense and LSU don't. And that's what
John
wins the game.
David says
Plus,
Kentucky should have beat Georgia.
Yeah, they should have. But that's another topic for another day.
All right, John Roberts.
He said Georgia Dome is not neutral, Jason Harris. Well, I mean, it's a neutral field.
Well, Georgia Dome is also imploded, so
Yeah.
it doesn't exist.
It's
Right.
Mercedes-Benz, I'm guessing now, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, let's see, 17 and a half. Yeah, Georgia. Yeah.
You're going to take the spread?
So, yeah, because here's the thing. This is what's got to happen in order for LSU to actually even get close or potentially try to pull that upset. They've got to have Georgia. They've got to win the turnover battle, probably +2, maybe even +3. Okay, I don't see that happening. I don't see Georgia giving up the ball that many times in order for LSU to win the turnover battle. And then you got to have some dumb penalties or drive killer type penalties
Pick sixes.
that end it. Well, I mean, that's part of the turnovers, but I'm more just talking about like, hey, you're 3rd and 3, and you're just outside of field goal range, or you're 3rd and 3 and you're just inside of field goal range, and then you get a false start, and now you're third.
Yeah,
and, now
it
you're
kinda
3rd and
knocks
8.
you out of-
So now you're 3rd and 8, and the next play is an incomplete pass, and now you're either just outside of field goal range, or maybe y'all attempt. I mean, they attempt one and you just miss.
Yeah,
Something like that.
here's the thing about Georgia. You don't want to get in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10 against this Georgia defense.
Yeah, yeah. So
because they're going to pin their ears back and they're going to make you try to beat them.
But I'm more talking about Georgia themselves. You got to make Georgia have these drive killing penalties, or they've got to have those penalties that continue drives for LSU. So, the offsides, or pass interference, or just something dumb. Basically looking at what Alabama did on the road against Tennessee, against Texas, and against LSU. You got to basically you got to bring Georgia down to your level, or to LSU's level. That's the way that's the path to victory for LSU, is to drop what Georgia is down, and then get a few turnovers in that game to have the turnover margin. So, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, because I don't think that Jaden Daniels is going to be able to throw his way to a victory, because he's only had twice, I think, in this season in which he had over 300
he looked
yards.
good against Alabama.
So there's 2 times in which I think he threw for over 300 yards. Okay. One of those was in the loss to Tennessee, when they were having to come back and they were having to throw. And I think the other one was against, I think it was Alabama, that he had
He looked pretty good against Alabama. I'm not sure exactly what his stats were.
But you can't have like a game like you did against Auburn. He only threw for 80 yards against Auburn. Auburn gave that game away with a bunch of penalties and a bunch of stupid turnovers as well. And just the way that the play calling for Auburn was going on in that game, there was a lot of things that went LSU's way in that game to allow them to win that game. But I just don't see Georgia doing all of that. And that's just what I think will end up ultimately happening, is that the talent will prevail, and that's on the side of Georgia.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Jason's next, and he's already picked Georgia in this game as well. He says LSU stop the run and rattle the QB to have a shot. But Jason says that he's so sure on this game that he would bet on it. So, Mason, what say you?
Well, that's easy. Give me Georgia.
Georgia, yeah. Yeah, I think it's an easy game to pick, too. Yes, there is probably going to be at least one game that's going to surprise us all on Saturday or this weekend. And it's possible that this is LSU could play out of their minds. But I'm going to take Georgia and give me the 17.5 points as well.
Give me the dogs.
All right.
No, don't do that.
All right, the next game of the day on Saturday is the AAC championship game. This game has got UCF against Tulane. UCF is 9-3. Tulane is 10-2. What's the spread on this game, Hammonds?
Tulane's favored by 4.
I'm gonna go grab my food, but Tulane for me.
Give me the Tulane Green Waves.
All right.
If I'm not mistaken, ain't that Willie Fritz? Ain't Willie Fritz the head coach at Tulane?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up, to be honest. I don't know every school. Fritz. John Roberts, what say you? Tulane, UCF.
It is. It's Willie Fritz.
I am going to go with you can't finish. You can't finish.
Yeah, it's Willie Fritz.
So you're taking Gus Miles on what I'm hearing?
I'm taking Gus Miles on. You can't
oh
finish.
my gosh. Okay. I can't believe that one, but all right. The Auburn guys taking Gus Miles on in the championship game. So, okay.
Shocking. Shocking.
Hammonds, look this up. Didn't these two teams just play about 2 weeks ago?
I believe they did.
I'm pretty sure they did, and Tulane won about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. No, they got beat. Tulane lost
Tulane
38-30. They lost
38-30.
38-31. 31.
So one of their two losses is to UCF.
Yeah, they lost 38-31.
Yeah, they couldn't finish.
But this is a championship game. It's a totally different game.
Yeah, I'm taking Tulane, dadgummit. They're not that whole y'all talked me into it's hard to beat a team twice thing. It's your fault. It's your fault, Roberts.
My bad.
So I'm going to take Tulane in it. All right. So I'm going to skip down. We're not going to cover the Mountain West game, but then we're going to go to the Big Ten. The Big Ten has Purdue versus Michigan. Said Tulane for the last one as well. So
Listen,
Jason Harrison said Tulane as well. So just to throw that in there.
Jason just picked Michigan, but there was some bad news out of Michigan today where Blake Corum will be out the rest of the year.
Oh, really?
Now, yeah, he's going to have knee surgery. Now, will this affect the game against Purdue? Probably not, because I think Michigan beats Purdue. I think regardless. Taylor's a good back for Michigan, so I don't think they're really going to miss much. So I think Michigan wins this game, but going forward, in the college football playoff, I think not having Corum is going to be a big hit to them, though.
Maybe in the championship game.
Yeah, that's my way of thinking. Yeah, but
Yeah.
against Purdue, you should pretty much win. So,
right.
And that's probably giving Purdue a lot of ammunition, saying, "Oh, John's saying they can't win," but at the same time, I don't think Purdue has the I don't think they have the horses to keep up with Michigan for 4 quarters.
I don't know, but they might have the Rockets though.
Okay.
I mean, they got to get
Roberts. You've been going mostly chalk, and you're the chaos guy. So is this the game?
Oh, chalk, man, chalk. We're going Michigan.
Oh man, I was trying to bait you into this, man.
Michigan. That's what we're doing right
now. All right. Jason Harrison says Michigan, and he was talking about Corum being down. He says next man up. So I just want to throw that in there. Mason, we'll go to you on this one. We're talking Purdue and Michigan for the Big Ten.
I'm taking Purdue.
There you go.
Is he trolling or is he just acting stupid?
No. That's what everybody said when Purdue, what they do a couple years ago against Ohio State. They live for these games. Purdue lives for the upset. They live for the upset.
I got a stat for you. Jeff Brom is 3-0 lifetime versus top 3 teams.
Give me Purdue for the upset. Coach. Purdue's going to start the chaos. They have to.
In his lifetime as a head coach versus top 3 teams. That's
pretty.
That's Purdue. A pretty significant stat.
Yeah, give me Purdue.
So everything that I just want to throw this out there. This is a game that everybody's thinking, "Oh, Michigan's got it. Michigan's got it. Michigan got it." No worries. I think this is a game you better watch out for. They better not be overlooking this game because they think they already have the college football playoffs wrapped up.
Well, even if they lose, like I said earlier, even if they lose, I don't think they're going to be dropping none.
Well,
neither is TCU.
That may be the case. You might be right because they're undefeated. So
yeah, but if they lose to a 4-loss team,
doesn't that say something? Yeah,
it does. But at the same time,
Michigan's played one team all year, Ohio State.
Who's worthy to jump?
They won that
in
game
there?
pretty heavily.
Who's
Penn
worthy
State.
to jump in
at
there?
Ohio
State. I mean,
Alabama.
Yeah, well, I said that earlier and got ridiculed. So
not by me.
Brad thinks it's a joke.
I think it's terrible.
Bama could be in there over a 1-loss Michigan or 1-loss Ohio State.
Terrible.
How? They lost on the road by, 3 points combined, I think? 4 points, maybe?
To you, Mason? Here, I'll explain this to you. They play in the same conference as Tennessee, all right? Tennessee played Georgia and lost by 2 touchdowns. The next 2 best teams in the SEC, Tennessee beat LSU and Alabama, all right? Then
How much did they beat Alabama by?
Wait a second. And then Alabama's resume says this. They didn't even Georgia. They ain't even played them, okay? Then they've played, because they're the 3rd team, they've played the next 2 teams that they've played, LSU and Tennessee. And guess what they did? Lost to both of them. They're 4th in the SEC. And you're telling me the 4th team in the SEC deserves to be in the top 4 in the whole country? Are you kidding?
How much did they lose? How much did Tennessee beat them by?
A field goal.
They lost.
On the road.
But here's the
To arguably be, Hooker was one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. They lost on the road by 3.
They are.
And then how much did they lose by the second game?
In the SEC.
Listen,
They have 2 losses on the road by 4 combined points.
It's ridiculous. There's no reason to even have this conversation.
4 points on the road in the SEC.
Let me speak. Kentucky. You've got me sidetracked here. Alabama is 6th in the country in the playoff rankings, right? They're going to get in some way if somebody gets knocked off. They're going to find a way to back them into the college football playoff. It's going to happen.
Yeah, so the 4th best SEC team is going.
They lost by 4 points on the road for both games.
Yeah. I'm telling you, they are the 4th best team.
4 points. No.
Right. You got 4 right. 4 right. 4 is right. 4
Still,
points.
4 points over 2 games versus one top 5 team when they played Tennessee. And then they lost to LSU. What was LSU ranked? They're ranked.
Sidestepped Georgia in the regular season. They didn't even have to play them.
They're playing their schedule.
They're lucky that Georgia didn't have to play Alabama.
Okay. But like I said, Alabama is ranked 6th, okay? Just listen to what I'm about to say. And TCU gets beat.
Hey, don't talk about TCU like that.
I'm not saying
talk about USC like that. Not
them
TCU.
Horny toads.
There's going to be some way that they're going to back in Alabama into that playoff. I can guarantee you, because that's what the committee
I'm just going to be honest with you. Alabama gets in the top 4, y'all going to hear a huge rampart. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Why?
They lost by 4 points.
Exactly. Tennessee doesn't have a quarterback.
A really good team.
Should not be above Alabama, Jason.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. How doesn't it? Tennessee can't compete without Hooker.
Let me just say this.
So
Hey,
we should kick Michigan out because Form's hurt?
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Let Roberts talk.
Hold on. So let's just say Kentucky is trying to get into the NCAA tournament, and their best guy goes down with an injury. They're going to pick a team that's behind Kentucky to leapfrog Kentucky and put them in. It happens in the NCAA tournament. They take injuries. They take injuries into
But
account.
it shouldn't.
But
I don't care
it doesn't matter.
it
doesn't
shouldn't.
matter. It's fact. This is how it works.
I don't care
So
if
it
it's
will
fact or
work
not.
this way.
It should not happen. You reward.
How shouldn't it happen? If you lose your best player that allowed you to compete all year, now you can't compete, and you want to put the backup player into a primetime spot?
So you just penalize the rest of the damn team?
No,
Yes.
Tennessee doesn't have a rest of the team. They have Hendon Hooker.
Their one star player got hurt?
Their only star player got hurt.
Not right.
Listen. Okay, let me say something real quick while we're on this topic with Tennessee. I think Tennessee's a really good football team. I think Joe Milton, with time, he's going to be a great quarterback. It just takes some time with Heupel. But he is not the quarterback Hendon Hooker is. Hendon Hooker can make those type of throws that Joe can't. You've seen that against Vanderbilt Saturday. You watched the Vanderbilt game. He was overthrowing receivers. He was underthrowing them at times. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the kid's a really good athlete. He's got a good arm, but he can't do the things that Hooker can't. And that's just my
100%.
That's just my take on it.
All right, I'm moving on from this. I'm taking Georgia, by the way. I'm taking Georgia, and I'm taking Michigan in this game, the one we're just talking about. I'm going to wind up taking Michigan, but I do believe that Purdue is going to give them everything they got. It would not surprise me if Michigan has to pull it out late in the fourth quarter. So
I don't agree with you, but that's just me.
It wouldn't surprise me in this game. And then the ACC championship game is Clemson and North Carolina. North Carolina's had a couple of rough weeks. They've lost their last two games, and Clemson lost as well. So 2 of their last 3 games. So,
and they're a 7.5-point favorite.
Okay,
Clemson. I think I'm going to take Clemson in this game. I think the way they played the last couple of weeks, I think they get it together. But I'll say this, Drake May, he deserves some votes. I'm not saying he should win the Heisman, but he deserves some votes.
I think he might even be able to get to New York, in my opinion, really.
And I think Clemson, to me, I'm like Jason Harrison said a minute ago. I think they need to win big style points because of the way they played the last couple of weeks. And the committee looks at that stuff. And do I think North Carolina has a shot for an upset? Yes. But I think Clemson has too much defense in this game. I just don't see North Carolina being able to compete with them for 4 quarters. Now, can they compete with them for 3 quarters? I think they can. They got the quarterback to do it. They got the slot guys. They got some good athletes. But North Carolina's defense is what worries me in this game. They don't have a really good defense.
They don't.
And,
and Clemson does.
They do. And, what was it? North Carolina lost. Didn't they lose last week to who was it North Carolina lost to last week?
Well, I
lost this past week, or was it the week before last?
NC State's who they played this past week.
Yeah, it was. I might have been thinking about Duke and Wake Forest. I got everything. We had that rant there, and I had everything. Brad was getting Brad's getting antsy up there about Alabama. And
I'm just telling you, they're the fourth best team in the SEC.
You're gonna get more gray if you keep saying that.
It's true. John Roberts, on the ACC game, who are you taking, Clemson or North Carolina?
I'm going with future Alabama quarterback Drake May.
Future Alabama quarterback?
Yeah, he's transferring to Alabama.
Okay.
Yep.
Breaking news here on College SportsCast. That's a joke, guys. That's a joke. I'm just joking.
But are we joking?
Jason Harrison, you may not be joking, but I was joking.
Hey, what's going to happen in this game right here is you're talking about Clemson defense, all right? I mean, where was that
Trash.
defense when South Carolina was putting up 31 on them?
Eating burgers.
There you go. I mean, is
I
South
agree with you.
Carolina any better than North Carolina?
Nah.
Nah. Drake May.
Well, Jason Harrison says Clemson's going to find a way.
To Clemson? They're going to find a way to Clemson? Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah.
We're going back to it. They're going a decade into the past. It's going to be North Carolina. They're going to win. They're the better Carolina team. Actually, not really. South Carolina's the better Carolina team, but North Carolina's the better team in this game.
they are. I agree, but
See?
All right.
at the same
Jason
time,
Jason says Clemson. Mason, who you taking?
North Carolina.
North
I'm
Carolina?
on the May train.
Okay.
Come on and raise up.
It's hard for me to take. I'm going to take Clemson. North Carolina's lost last two. They just haven't looked good to me. If they would have stayed the course where they were a couple of weeks ago, I might have taken North Carolina in this game. But I can't do it against Clemson the way they played the last two games. So I'm going to take Clemson in that game. So that kind of runs through on college football, all the championship games. And we're going to switch it over and do some basketball talk. So I want to start out with some of last night's games. Indiana kind of put it to North Carolina last night, 177-65. Indiana's looking like a top five team. Just to be honest with you, they look really good. And North Carolina,
Kentucky, or not?
Isn't that their third straight loss or no?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say North Carolina. Yeah, North Carolina and Kentucky don't look too good right now.
Yeah, but North Carolina was ranked number one, so we're just
letting the other teams have their chance to beat us before regular season starts. So it's okay.
Like
North Carolina,
Alabama.
Yeah, we want to give them a good win.
Slow.
How do you give Alabama?
Didn't North Carolina started under 500 for the first quarter of last season?Maybe half the season.
They usually do start slow.
Dude,
I'll give you that much, Mason. They do
very slow last year.
Duke beat Ohio
Nobody
State.
cares about Duke.
Duke beat Ohio State in the ACC Big Ten Challenge last night. That was a good game to watch.
Duke is trash. Let's not talk about Duke anymore.
Virginia beat Michigan.
Yes.
Virginia double dribbled.
Marquette.
Yeah.
Marquette beat Baylor. Pretty bad, actually.
Texas won.
Yeah, they beat Creighton.
So those games, the game you're talking about. So today's games, Texas beat Creighton, and Creighton has got a really good team.
They do.
They were ranked 7th. Texas is 2. So I do want to give Texas a shout out today, winning a big game.
Utah upset Arizona tonight. out in Salt Lake.
Yes. Yeah, Utah upset there's 18 actually. Um,
It was up by 20 at one point, I think.
yeah. Kansas is killing Seton Hall right now, 65-39. That game's playing 7 minutes to
Ain't
go in the
that
second
ain't that the
half.
same team? What's up? My dad just joined. Hey, what's up?
Your dad joined?
He just
Hey,
joined
Pop.
the chat. There's Pops.
Hang on. I'm trying to get you up.
Yeah, he's trying. Uh, I agree with Jason Harrison. You know, you look at the landscape of college basketball right now. You probably got Houston, you've got Texas, and I think Virginia and Purdue are probably the top four if we're being um, honest right now. Now that can
Now lie to
change
me.
between the middle of the year, but I think
Well,
Houston
Jason says Houston are the best two toughest teams right now.
they are.
And Harrison
In
says
Texas
down
Texas,
there in the chat.
they're
Texas
the best
plays
teams
really
in
good
Texas.
defense too.
Yeah, they're the best teams in Texas.
There you go.
And doesn't Kentucky play Michigan Sunday in England? In
They
London?
do.
Yeah.
So, kind of run through some of the games over the weekend. Tomorrow on Friday, Baylor and Gonzaga play each other. Illinois and Maryland play each other tomorrow. A couple of big games on Friday. Um, Saturday,
Gonzaga plays Baylor. Did you say that?
yeah, Gonzaga and Baylor play each other. On Saturday, let's see. You got, trying to see what some of the best games are.
Florida State plays Virginia, but we
San
know
Diego State and Alabama play on Saturday. That should be a pretty decent game. Boston College and Duke play.
there's a really low key game that Ole Miss plays at Memphis. Ole Miss is 6-1 this year. Ole Miss has
Right.
got a pretty good team. Shout out Jason Harrison, played at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is sneaky. Yeah, he said they're sneaky good.
Yep.
They're a lot
Jason
better than
says
they was
they're
last
sneaky
year.
good.
Yeah, so that's a game to watch. Syracuse plays Notre Dame Saturday. That's a rivalry game. But I don't think Syracuse is what they used to be, though. Syracuse just ain't.
They're not.
These ain't the same Jim Boeheim teams that they've normally had.
Well, I mean, Jim Boeheim's been there for 40 some years. I mean, it's hard to stay on top for that long.
It is. I agree. I
So,
just got an update. Through a friend. Right now, if you're wanting to know about bowl implications, Kentucky is trending towards the Liberty Bowl as of now.
the Liberty Bowl, huh?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe they might have a chance at the Music City, but maybe not.
Well, I thought the same too, but today they was talking about the teams in front of them. Ole Miss would most likely take the Music City Bowl, being closer, and they would be ahead of Kentucky in the bowl. The you know what I mean, the
Pecking
tier
order.
of the bowl.
Yeah.
The order. And the last I looked, they had Kentucky and Oklahoma State, and they had one Kentucky against Mason's Oklahoma Sooners in another. I wouldn't care to beat up on some Sooners.
Yeah.
They've had a rough year. The Music City Bowl, Jason says no.
Yeah. All right.
Ole
So
Miss,
basketball games on Sunday. Michigan and UK play in London. Virginia Tech and North Carolina play on Sunday. Creighton comes back and plays Nebraska on Sunday. You got Cal and Arizona, Pac-12 matchup. Minnesota and Purdue play on basketball Sunday. Oregon, UCLA. There's some early season like conference games going on, which I find kind of weird. But
okay, so I said I wouldn't say this, but I'm just going to say the 3 games and be done with it. There's 3-4 NFL games Sunday that's really good. If you're an NFL fan, I just wanted to say it because there's 3 or 4 that's really good Sunday. It's the Jets, Minnesota, the Giants and the Redskins or the Commanders, the Titans and the Eagles, and you've got Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs. So there you go. There's 4 big-time NFL games this weekend. It's going to be cold this weekend, so watch a little football.
All my teams in the NFL are sucking this year, so I don't even care.
Amen, bro.
How about them Cowboys, though? They're looking good.
Who?
Oh, my goodness.
Who's the Cowboy?
Of course, a Packer fan would be talking.
I don't even like. We're terrible when we beat y'all.
I was gonna say, who the Cowboys lose to?
We're terrible when we beat y'all.
Listen, John Roberts, your best idea was stay behind that microphone.
Mike McCarthy.
Hey, he's better than what we've had.
Is he?
Yeah, see, it's the Packers coach. He's a Packer. I mean, it's the Cowboys coach. He's a Packer.
Watch what you're saying right there. Watch your language.
I meant Cowboys coach. He's a Packer at heart. He won a Super Bowl with the Packers.
He's a what? He's a what?
My dad's watching. He's a Cowboys fan, so we got to be good.
I'm just having a little fun.
Oh, I am too.
Hammonds, your dad knows we pick at each other. He does.
Dad thinks, we was talking about the other day about, all these teams in college basketball and how this year the parity is so evened up. You got Texas, you got Creighton, you got, like tonight, Arizona losing. Like, people just losing these games out of the blue, like to teams that are not really good. And go Green Bay, says Chris Everso. So, is OBJ signing with Dallas? Jason Harrison says. If he does, at the end of the day, he does. If he don't, he don't. It's
great analysis.
Well,
I mean, come on. Isn't it a little late in the season to be signing with somebody?
Well, the problem is he got hurt, and that was a lot of it. So,
I mean,
he was having to sit out a while. So,
I mean, shouldn't signings at least have to happen in the first half of the season or something?
I agree with you. I mean,
come on.
To me, he's turned it into a comedy show, like the whole.
And I don't care if he goes back with the Rams, which is one of my teams. I don't care who he goes to. Well, he's not going to the Rams because the Rams aren't relevant this time, but he might have had they, stayed relevant like they were last year. But my point is I don't care if he goes to one of my teams. I just hate the fact that we allow a guy to just hang around, do whatever. He can go hang out, do whatever he wants to do all season long. And then 2 weeks before the playoffs or right as the playoffs start, I'm going to go sign with somebody and win a Super Bowl. Screw that. I hate that. That's terrible.
Why do you have more than one team?
I just hate it. So I'm going to throw that out there. It's terrible. You wanted to bring up
just ignore the question.
You wanted to bring up the NFL. There you go.
Might not bring it up anymore after that one.
God, it's terrible. I hate it.
John, bring up the NFL again.
I will not. I was just saying.
All right, so I'm going to switch to something real quick. So down at the bottom of the screen, if you guys are watching, Reaper Apparel Company has give us a code to be able to use, give you 10% discount. It's SportCast 10. You get a 10% discount if you go there. And I want to give them a shout out. This is something new that is just going on with us. So I'm proud to say that we are partnered with Reaper Apparel Company. They have some pretty cool gear, shirts, tees, hoodies. So check them out. And like I said, if you use the code SportsCast10, you will get a 10% discount on anything that you purchase if you use that link and that code. That's the reason why I'm showing you that on the screen. So
Jason said he needs to order some.
cool. It's like I said, if you use that link that I've got on the screen and that code, then we will get the credit for us as a sale, and it'll help us out as well. So we appreciate anybody that would.
What we really need is to have all of our apparel on. What we really need to do is have all of our apparel on when we're going.
I actually something from them today from Reaper Apparel Company. I ordered a cap. In the next week or two, when I get my order in, I'll start wearing a cap from them on show sometimes. So, and yes, I didn't order everybody one, but I can do that, okay? Or we can figure out how we're going to get the money together to do that.
John Roberts was getting ready to say something.
I'm sorry, guys. I've been covering a little bit of stuff, so Christmas is around the corner. Damn it!
Santa Claus will be coming.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to throw that in there. Jason, if you want to order something, hit me up on Twitter, on message, or type my number too. So I can give you a way to do that. So a different way to do that. But it's really cool clothing. Like I said, just check them out. Reaper Apparel Company is the name of the company. Use that link and that code, and we will get the credit, and you'll get a 10% discount. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about, I'm going to kind of leave that running up there, but we're going to talk about a little women's basketball as well. I kind of always throw that in towards the end of the show. Again, I've coached women's. I've got two sisters that played ball, one of them that played small college ball, and I've been in the women's game a long time in my life. Yesterday, the ACC Big Ten Challenge is also going on in the women's game. Ohio State beat Louisville pretty bad yesterday. Ohio State is the fourth-ranked team in the country on the women's side, and Louisville was top 10 preseason. I think they were around 7 or 8, something like that, maybe 6. But they have fallen to 18 and got beat 96-77 yesterday.
Number 7, Notre Dame fell to Maryland tonight.
Okay. I was fixing to go to tonight's games because there's a bunch of good games on. The ACC Big Ten Challenge is going on. So there's a bunch of good games going on in the girls' game. Indiana beat UNC, which was a 5th and 6th ranked team in the country. On the girls' side, I'm not talking about the boys, 87-63 tonight. Maryland beat the number 7 team in the country, Notre Dame. On the girls' side, 74-72 tonight. So that was a big game in the ACC 10 Challenge. The game right now, Michigan is beating Miami 57-48. Go ahead, John. You see some other?
No, there's not really a bunch of. There's a really good game on Sunday. Number 3, Connecticut plays number 7, Notre Dame. And that is at 3 o'clock on ABC, and it's at Notre Dame.
I will say one of the games tonight, North Carolina State beat Iowa on the girls' I'm a little disappointed in Iowa so far. Mason is from out there, and Caitlin Clark's been hurt a little bit and coming back off an injury, and I think that's affecting the team. But they got beat tonight. Yeah, they got beat tonight, 94-81. So on the girls' side, so I'm hoping that Caitlin Clark can come back and get her team gelling again, and they can make a deep run because I really like the way she plays ball. So she is a hard nosed, hard. I mean, she can get 7-8 rebounds, 7-8 assists, 25, 30 points all in one game. I mean, she's one of the best players in the country. So I hope to see her healthy year and get her team going. And so that's just my opinion. But like I said, I do through the next few days. Tonight was really one of the big nights. I thought the ACC Big Ten Challenge had quite a few games going on. I think Jason Harrison, he says Maryland looked good. I think he's talking about the girls' side of the ball as well. So,
yeah, he is.
Yeah, the game that I was just talking about.
The boys are looking good too.
Yeah. But I always like to throw a little bit of girls' ball in there before we wrap up the show. So, again, kind of surprise everybody. We had talked about it. I'd sent some messages back and forth, but I went ahead and done this today. We are now associated with Reaper Apparel Company, and you can use that link that's showing on the screen and use the SportCast 10 code for a 10% discount, and it'll give for the sales and will help us out along the way for our podcast as well.
Oh,
John and John,
Sunday,
what's that?
And Sunday we'll be featured on that channel. That's a reminder. I just wanted to remind you.
Yeah, so Sunday the Real Fresh channel. Here, let me look it up real quick. Yeah, the YouTube channel is the Real Fresh channel as well.
Mm-hmm.
Go to YouTube, look up the Real Fresh channel, and he has got a pro sports podcast that's going to be on there. We are going to be the college sportscast on Sundays. He's got a sports betting podcast that's going to be on there. He has some kind of murder mystery crime podcast that's on there. He has a comedy podcast that's on there. And he's looking actually to fill the other 2 days and do each day a different podcast. He has one on there as well. One of those podcasts is his. But we're going to be featured on there and be partnered with the Real Fresh channel. And on Sundays, our week wrap-up show and live chat show is going to be featured on his channel. So we want to give him a shout out as well. And we hope that you guys from the Real Fresh channel will follow our channel and kind of get to know us and enjoy some college football, college basketball. We're going to cover college baseball in the spring.
Yeah, I think that's John Roberts's.
Yeah, we're going to cover college baseball in the spring.
Don't get me wrong. I love baseball, but I don't know enough about college baseball to.
Yeah, John Roberts is going to help me lead that one. So,
right on.
Matter of fact, I think some of the college baseball schedules came out today. Did they not? I think they did. I know.
So then everybody else would have been releasing at the same time.
Kentucky's college baseball schedule came out today. I'm pretty sure.
Is that the rest of the non-conference stuff? Because I think the conference stuff was released a while ago. So
it must have been. I think it was the full schedule. I think.
Yeah, the full schedule. Yeah.
come out today for college baseball. I'm pretty sure. You can
Yep.
look that up, but I seen it on Twitter.
Yep.
I didn't know
So
if
I would imagine everybody else's probably also came out too. I just haven't.
yeah,
I've been at work all day today and I hadn't seen anything online. So
right.
I would imagine if you saw Kentucky's full schedule, then everybody else's would also have
Yeah,
released
it
as
was
well.
Thursday. So yeah, it should have been today.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to be covering that as well, and that starts mid February ish. So somewhere around the 10th, 12th, 14th of
And
February, we'll start covering
and
some
when
college baseball.
and a lot of people think that we're just going to stop when college football stops,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of transfer portal stuff. There's a lot of signing day coming up, and
Oh yeah.
there's a lot to talk about. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I looked
Absolutely.
I looked today.
Now we got the early signing day and the late say in
Yeah,
college football.
I
So,
was looking today. I was on the 24/7 app, and just by what I retweeted a few things today, there was about 70 articles of players just entering the transfer portal. It's like the wild, wild west. Like it's absolute. Like I said the other night, it's absolutely insane. It's and there's a lot of good players in this transfer portal going out. There's some guys that some of these small schools could use. I
right.
think that's been a big beneficiary to the teams competing against each other because people's got guys in the transfer portal and they're playing closer games to these big teams because they're getting players that they normally don't get.
It's going to be fun. I look forward to it. I love
Mhm.
college basketball. We're just now getting to the championship week, and right after that, we're going to get to the announce of the bowl games and the college football playoffs, and
We
so
might go we might go live for the bowl special
yeah,
if we can. And we'll
right,
break down some of the games and whatnot.
right.
And we'll
All
talk
right.
about
So
every
our
single
next
and we'll
our
talk
next
about
scheduled
every
show.
did you hear what I said?
No.
I said we'll talk about every single bowl game. Because we know you like the
Yeah,
carrot bowl,
the itty bitty dirt bowl.
the
Yeah,
potato bowl, all that good stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Can we talk about a coaching hire that happened after our last show?
Sure.
Trent Dilfer to UAB.
Yeah, absolutely. That happened, I think, on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday?
Yeah, it had,
Yeah.
yeah, or
Or was
happened.
it yesterday?
It might have been last night, late last night.
Yeah,
I
well,
think it was
Wednesday
yesterday.
was when they announced it. I think Tuesday was looking more and more like
Yeah,
it could happen, but then Wednesday they
right.
announced it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Trent Dilfer has been at a high school in Tennessee, taking them 3 out of 4 years to the state championship game. They've won one in 2021, and they're playing tonight, I believe. Isn't that right?
I thought so. I thought they were playing tonight.
I think it's tonight. I think they're playing tonight in the championship game in Chattanooga. Um, and then like I said, he has. Of course, everybody knows he played. Won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. Was on ESPN. Had Dilfer's dimes on there. Done all that. So, but anyway, he is taking the UAB job, and it's a big deal. John Roberts is in Birmingham and has connection to some of the sports radio down there, and so they were helping cover it yesterday, and so it's a big deal for UAB to get Trent Dilfer.
Yep. I
So
mean,
yeah, absolutely,
there's a lot of mixed emotions over here just because the interim coach was the guy that I think there was a lot of people that were pulling for him to get the job.
it was.
But
I
but
think
but the the announcement of Trent Dilfer, that was kind of out of nowhere.
right,
And then with that being said, I mean it's a splash hire, and it's especially with his connections to the Elite 11. Um, it could
Yeah.
be for some really interesting recruits and players that could
Oh,
make it to
absolutely. I
make
mean,
it to
Trent
Birmingham.
Dilfer, he's got some major connections that could bring some quality kids to UAB.
He's never recruited
So,
before, because he's never been a college coach, so he's never really had to go out and recruit. But he does have at least the starting ground on getting guys,
well,
especially quarterbacks,
he's
to
had
UAB.
a passing academy and stuff on his own and stuff. And he may not now, but he has um,
Mm-hmm.
since he took the college job. But anyway, um,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
he has had that. So
Mm-hmm.
skills academy and passing academy and stuff like that. So he has some deep connections and roots to a lot of kids.
Yep.
He does.
Yeah. So it's a big splash hire. You're absolutely right. And I do know that there was a connection to the interim coach for UAB and a lot of their fans down there. But I would have to think that a splash hire like Trent Dilfer would help, heal some of
Take it to
that.
the next. Take it to the next level with with what's happened over the last few years and how the program's been just rebuilt and has been competing for Conference USA championships just about every year. But this year right here, I think it's the first year they weren't competing for one. And now they can get somebody that might be able to take them over the edge to not only be competing on a yearly basis as they have been in the last few years, but maybe even kind of possibly find a way into the college football playoff with it being 12 teams and UAB going into the AAC.
Right.
So
Yeah. And the AAC, quite honestly, has probably been the sixth best conference in college football for the last 4, 5, 6 years. So, you know, you got your Power Five, and then I would put the AAC as number 6.
and I mean, like, think about this: what UAB's got now for their head coach, for their head coaches, is that they've got Trent Dilfer as their football coach, right? You got Andy Kennedy as their basketball coach, and then you've got oh my God, I'm going blank on the guy's name, but former catcher at Auburn that made it into the that was drafted really high, caught Tim Hudson down at Auburn,
Okay.
and I'm about to go. I've gone blank, on his name, but anyway, he's taken Samford over the last 15 years and built that into a powerhouse down here, and they've gone to regionals multiple times and nearly won the Florida State regional a couple of years ago. And so now he's going to take UAB, which hasn't really been truly relevant in baseball. Again, getting ready to go into the AAC, and he's going to hopefully build the baseball program as well. So there's going to be big things happening at UAB with the baseball, basketball, and football programs.
Oh yeah, they've got things going in a very good direction at UAB. So you're right. And Andy Kennedy's doing a great job already. So
Yep.
yep. Anything else y'all want to add?
Nope.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna end this with follow us at our Linktree College Sportscast for all our platforms. We're on TikTok. All of us have a Twitter. All three of us that are sitting here have a Twitter page that you can follow. Let's see. We got a Twitch. We got YouTube. We got Facebook. Go on Linktree College Sportscast, and you can find everything that we are. You can find a way to support us as well. There's a coffee page that support us with. You can order caps, shirts, hoodies. So there's different ways that you can support us. You can also support us by doing the Reaper apparel that I had up just a few minutes ago. Well, so all of those are ways to help us and help support us. And some of them you can get a cool T-shirt or a cool cap or hoodie or something like that in return. So we're going to be on. Our next show is going to be Sunday afternoon for a week wrap-up show and live show. We're going to talk about all the big games this week for championship week. We're going to look at all the big games that's happening in the college basketball world as well. And we'll have a little rundown for bowl selections and college football rankings, the final college football rankings. And then we will know the final 14, the top 4 teams for the college football playoffs after Saturday. So it's a big week and a big weekend, and we look forward to covering all this with you and being with you for our week wrap-up show on Sunday. John and John, I appreciate y'all being on with us, man.
Yep. Hey, that baseball coach is Coach Casey Dunn. That's his name at UAB.
Okay. At UAB. Okay. Casey Dunn. All right. Well, let's wrap this up and say goodnight. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
See you.